So let's talk a little bit about that offense and how do you think, break it down a couple ways. How do you think they resolve the wide receiver position, adding to it? And then what's the approach at running back?
Yeah, so wide receiver, I think that they have to, approach it two ways. I think that you need to hit it twice. Free agency doesn't do a whole lot for me, Dave. There's not much out there. There's a couple guys of interest if they are maybe DJ Shark, if he's cheap enough, right? He might be of interest. A Calvin Ridley, maybe, but I think he's going to be too expensive. You end up overpaying in free agency, just flat out usually. So I think trade is where we look for a wide receiver. There are a number of guys. I mean, the dream is Brandon Ayuk, although I don't think that's likely because they don't have a first to give up. I would do it in a second if they did. There's Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Tyler Lockett, other names rumored to be on the block, and other guys are going to shake loose, Dave. So I think that trade is one way to attack it, and I think they definitely need to attack it at 54 in the draft. I really don't. I would be surprised if they didn't go wide receiver at 54. Like, I feel like this draft class, there's 20 guys that are going to be productive right away in the NFL or can be. And the Browns have missed on a couple thirds that haven't produced right away. I wouldn't say missed completely, but they didn't produce right away. Take it up around, take your shot on a second, keep swinging. There's a lot of talented guys in this draft. So I do think you have to approach it with two guys that you think can contribute to this room. They're missing a legitimate two. Somehow they have to find a two, and that would kind of slot everybody in properly.
Yeah, and to your point, since 2010, they've only taken 3 swings in the second round or higher. And one of them was a supplemental where they got Josh Gordon, Greg Little, and then those were second round equivalents. And then the only first rounder was Corey Coleman, and he might have been so bad that they just took wide receiver off their board.
Yeah, you can't give up completely, right? Despite your struggles with Corey Coleman and otherwise, right? Schwartz, I know he was later than that, but yeah, third. They've had their issues, right? With third round picks here, and then Bell. I haven't given up on David Bell, although he is less explosive or sudden than I even thought he would be. He looks a little stiff out there, although I do think he can move the chains and run some good routes. But Cedric Tillman, I still have high hopes for, despite, I still think he can be a really good player. So.
I think that's fair. And David Bell is a fourth wide receiver on a playoff caliber team. You can get him in. He's not going to do enough that you want him on the field for more than 15, 20 snaps. Running back. They're going to do something with Nick Chubb's contract. My guess is they'll bring the number down to where it's pretty low, but he can earn back pretty much all the money that he would lose in incentives if he plays. I think they will do that for Nick Chubb.
I totally agree. I think they will. I think they're going to slow play it a little bit, Dave, because of the medicals, right? Like, I don't know. We aren't privy to them, but I don't think they know yet. A definitive timeline, or as soon as they can get some sort of a ballpark timeline of his return, I think that's when we'll see movement on the contract aspect. But the Browns have to approach the running back position as if Nick Chubb doesn't exist, right? Like, because you can't count on him to be there for whatever week he comes back, right? Whether it be halfway through the season, week 4, week 1, doesn't matter. I think you have to approach this as though he isn't a part of the team, and when he comes back, it's a bonus. So I do think they need to add a running back. The nice thing is about this running back market, free agent market, I would look, is you have 4 guys that were tagged last year, Dave, not tagged this year. It dilutes that market a great deal. There are a number of running backs that are probably going to go very cheap that are good. A couple guys that jump off the page to me, Zach Moss, Devin Singletary, A.J. Dillon. More Moss and Dillon are the guys that kind of fit that Chubb mold.
Yeah, and when you say Singletary and Moss, those are guys that you can draw parallels to. They've played for Ken Dorsey, the new offensive coordinator. Do you think they draft a running back as well? There's some interesting younger running backs that probably are going to be around in the 5th round.
Yeah, I think that taking if there's a guy there they like that falls to them, I wouldn't be surprised if they take somebody and continue to kind of stockpile talent there because you want to have cheap talent at running back. That's just the way you want to do it. So if you can get a guy on a rookie deal like Ford or somebody that ends up being better than Ford or a different style that also is on a rookie deal and you can get production out of them, then it's a big bonus for you.